right, well, my name is Catherine Whitman, but I go by Katie.
How long have you been living in the city?
22 years.
Where were you born?
Over at Mercy Hospital, downtown.
How long has your family been living in Baltimore?
I've lived in Baltimore my whole life. My mom grew up just outside on the outskirts of the city in Essex, and my grandmother grew up off of North Collington Avenue, which is Upper Fells Point.
Can you tell us a little bit about your grandparents? Or what history you know of theirs?
Well, back in the day, Collington Avenue used to be a very nice, very classy, very white area, which now it's a bit run down. It's kind of considered the projects up past Orleans Street, so it's changed quite a bit since she lived there.
Can you tell us about your parents' history a little bit? Your mom, growing up in Essex?
She lived in the city, so she had a lot of experience growing up here, but she would also go out to the county, more towards the eastern shore with other family that lived there. I don't know what else to say.
Well, what does your mom do? I know she's very active in the Baltimore community now.
She used to be a part of the Fells Point Preservation Society, and she was the director of the Fells Point Fun Festival that would bring an income to the nonprofit organization. And she, after retiring from that, she's been a big volunteer in the city and the community of taking care of the plants and trying to make the city as beautiful as possible.
She's doing a very good job. Fells Point is beautiful. Are there any family stories that your parents or grandparents have told you about living in Baltimore? Or?
Well, there's the story of my grandmother, and she would always talk about how she would go down to visit the tugboats down where they used to be off the Broadway Pier, and my grandfather was a tugboat captain, Captain Frederick Overman, and his name is on one of the bricks on Broadway Pier. So, really cool. I'm not sure where, but he's there somewhere. And he would he didn't fight. He would drive the tugboats for the ammunition barges in and out of Baltimore, and he was allowed into every port in Baltimore, which is very rare for a tugboat captain. Because during World War II, there was always the threat of being attacked by a German U-boat. So, my grandmother got to go see the tugboats all the time.
Really cool.
And Fells Point at the time was much different than it is now. It was basically just like a port where boats would come in and sailors from the Navy would come up, and definitely not as built up as it is now. Mm-hmm. And even from when I first was, growing up and a lot younger, Fells Point was very abandoned. Had most of my street was abandoned buildings that my friends and I would go play in. And then we came across some homeless people. I saw a few people doing drugs as a small child, so that was enlightening. What else? Definitely, we didn't really go to the park a lot. Some of the park was worn down. Patterson Park. Would only go during certain times of the day when it was safe. I'd be with my parents, but still, it's not fun to go there after dark.
Mm-hmm. Is it safer now than it was when you were growing up?
I think it's safer now, just because there's more of a community sense. Mm-hmm. A lot more people live here. There's more people out and about. I think the crime's gone down, but back then, you do not go out to Patterson Park, after dusk. Mm-hmm. Big no-no. I still wouldn't do it now. Wouldn't do it. But I've definitely been raised to be very aware of my surroundings. I always walk around with my keys in my fingers and 911 on ready to dial. But that's just me. I might just be paranoid from living here for so long.
It's always good to be cautious.
Yeah. But no, I think Fells Point's gotten a lot safer.